social media.
Bro, is Tupac alive?
Is Pac still alive?
Please tell me. I need to know the truth, man. Because Suge Knight keeps saying and there's somebody claiming to be his daughter that's talking about this.
Yeah, that lady crazy, man. I seen that video. She's crazy. Pac he died, unfortunately. You know, that he passed away.
There was someone that said they never saw a funeral
because he got cremated. So cremated, you know, cremated is that they want
when
to
they
burn to ashes. So that was something he left in his will, that he wanted his mother to cremate him. And it kind of reminded me of the hadith. You know, there's a hadith. If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to say anything wrong, but it was a man who was so afraid of Allah. He was a sinner, very bad individual, but he feared Allah so much. And if I'm not mistaken, that he wanted to be burnt and scattered in the sea after he died, only out of fear of Allah. And Allah still put him back together and from his mercy forgave him because he was a person of Tawheed. Yes. And I'm hoping, you know, a situation like that with Pac, because we want good for our people, you know, so I'm hoping.
Yeah, man, really, he was a good man. He was a good man. Yes, he was involved in a lot of gang-related activity, but I believe he was really a good man, and he had love for Muslims. Because I remember seeing a clip about him saying, somebody approached him for a movie for $100,000. He needed to play a role of a gangbanger that's a Muslim, and he said there's ain't no such thing.
Yeah, Pac, he had a lot of people don't know his first cousins were Muslims. He had many first cousins who were Muslim. He had uncles that was Muslims. Matulu Shakur, may Allah have mercy on him. His stepfather was a Muslim, so Islam was pretty much around him. You know what I mean? And he knew better. That's why he didn't play that role. He back then $100,000 was a lot of money for a movie for a 22-year-old kid. Yes. And he rejected it.
Did you grow up in the same neighborhood?
No. I was born and raised in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Pac was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's born in the East Coast, New York. Then he moved to Maryland. Then he moved to the Bay Area, California.
Okay.
So, and that's why he represented California, because when he got there, he was in his prime teenage years where you start to become a young man.
Right.
And you start to become a product of your environment. So he became a product of the West Coast. So a lot of people like to say, well, he's born on the East Coast, how he represented the West Coast, but that's what he felt like he became a man in.
I don't know the difference. Is it the same as Bloods, Crips?
Bloods and Crips originated on the West Coast. Now you have it in New York and New Jersey and stuff, but that came later. So Bloods and Crips originated in Los Angeles and Compton.
Were you in any of them?
I wasn't in any gang. I was I had a lot of friends, and that's part of, I hung out probably more with Bloods, you know what I mean? But I never was in the gang.
Okay.
My neighborhood in New Jersey, like where I grew up, later on became a neighborhood of Bloods. Okay. But I had friends from both sides, you know what I mean? I had a lot of friends that was actually Bloods.
Were they allowed to be friends, Bloods and Crips?
Yeah, because it's politics. Bloods and Crips, believe it or not, is like Arab tribalism. Believe it or not, because Bloods and Crips in LA been around since the 60s. So they've been having a civil war, probably the longest civil war in the Western Hemisphere is actually from Bloods and Crips. They just undermine it because they say they're gang members, but this is something big that, but it got to the point where they have to live together, respect each other, you know what I mean? So when we was on death row, for example, Snoop and them was Crips. You got Bloods over here doing security for them. So everybody came together because for them it was more of a positive cause for them, which was music industry. They was paying the bills of people. They was feeding people. So you have some blood. You have gang members who their mother was a Crip, their father was a Blood. This true. I know
really?
friends like that. Yeah.
Wait, okay. So like women were also involved.
Of course. Like I got a good friend of mine now. Like he's like a little brother. Pac kind of helped raise them because his father passed away. Pac used to rap about him a lot. His father was a Crip, and I want to say his mother was a gang member. She was a very nice woman, but affiliated, and he became a Blood. So you be saying, that's LA is really like, it's not like LA. It just some people just born into it because they might be born in a neighborhood that's a Blood or a Crip or Pyru. So it's different.
Pyru. It reminds me of The Game.
Yeah, from Compton, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I saw this documentary of him talking about Pyru Bloods.
Yeah, Pyru Bloods, that's pretty much, it's like Bloods. They always been together, the Pyrus and the Blood. Pyru started off on Pyru Street. They wore burgundy, the Bloods, but they mention the words Bloods and they say these type of things, so they always been together.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they look down on these gang members, we don't agree with the lifestyle because of course, we want people to realize why are you killing each other over a color. Unfortunately, most cases, the person is born into that environment. If you sit down with some of these individuals and they had opportunities, a lot of them are very intelligent people, bro. Like they can become, because you see sometimes when they do get an opportunity, they become very successful entrepreneurs, very successful business owners. Like I know a lot of them who started off like that and was able to make it out of the hood and became something very...
Artists as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the NWA.
Yeah, you know, Dre and them.
Do you know
came
them?
From. Of course I know Dre. I know Ice Cube. MC Ren, he's Muslim. I don't think I ever met him personally. Matter of fact, I did meet MC Ren at the Mad Shit, I believe, years ago.
Did you meet Snoop Dogg?
Of course, we was all on the same label, bro.
Right.
Like we know each other personally.
50 Cent?
I never met 50 Cent.
Eminem?
Never met Eminem. Never met him. Yeah.
How's Snoop Dogg like when he was young?
You know, we used to go to his house on the weekends.
He's older than you, right?
He's older than me. He's like Pac age. So we used to go to their house on the weekend and play basketball with him. So it was the Outlaws and Pac against Snoop and the Dog Pound. We was all on the same record label. You know what I mean? Yeah, tall dude. So we was all on the same record label. So, you know what I mean?
I never knew that, you know? I never knew that Snoop Dogg was on the same...
He was on Death Row, like Death Row.
Death Row Records,
Death Row is the one he was signed to. Yes.
So Death Row and Outlaws wasn't Death Row?
Well, we was on Death Row after Pac died, but when Pac got out of prison, he signed a record deal with Death Row, and the music we was doing was with Pac. You know what I mean? So then later on, we signed a quick deal with him, and then got off the album off the record label. I mean.
Okay. Does this record label still exist?
I believe so. You know what I mean? I believe so.
Oh,
I don't think it's with Suge. I heard Snoop own it now. I don't know what's happening with it.
You met Suge Knight.
Yeah, of course.
How's your relationship with him now?
You know, the last time I spoke with Suge was 3 years ago when I was in LA. He's in prison.
He's in prison, right?
Yeah, so we spoke a little bit over the phone. I know his kids, 2 of his sons took Shahada, accepted Islam. Suge Knight Jr., and his other son.
Suge J Knight, right?
Yeah, Suge J Knight. So I know his kids. I know him, you know. It is what it is. It's an unfortunate situation that he landed himself back in prison.
Why does he make people think twice? Why does he keep telling people that Tupac is alive?
Marketing, I guess he probably want to keep selling records when he say these type of things. And it might just be, you know, it probably. But now, you know, he got a podcast show that's on YouTube I listen to. He let people know Pac is dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was something that when you do these type of things, I guess from a business standpoint of view, he was trying to take advantage of it. But it hurt his family, especially when his mother was alive, because she was a woman that was very close. She cried. So by you saying he's alive, you saying his mother was faking her,
that's true.
You know, her pain. You know, so it's not a respectful thing to do.
You know, we needed some clarity from somebody from the inside.
Yeah.
Was he shot in two events?
Yeah, Pac was shot twice.
2 events, okay.
In a matter of maybe 2 years.
Okay. And the first time he called you, right? And he says, they're not going to take me away from you.
Yeah, the first time he got shot, he was in New York City. He was ambushed pretty much, going in the elevator. They shot him. And I was in Atlanta at his house. I just met him not too long ago, so I just started coming around. I just moved to Atlanta. And he was talking to a sister, and he was like, pass the phone to Moo, putting me on the phone. And the first thing he said, I hope you ain't think that I was gonna let them take me away from you so soon, because we just met, you know what I mean? And he was an individual who bounced back. You know, that's why the second time he got shot, automatically we think he's gonna survive again. That's what was going through our brain, like, you know, he's gonna survive this.
Was he speaking after he got shot before he died? Like
the first time?
The last event.
The last time they put him in a induced coma. But I heard
immediately.
I heard he was speaking according to Suge Knight, he was cracking jokes on his way to the hospital. He was speaking. This is according to Suge Knight. And when he got there, they had to do surgery, and they had to and put him in an induced coma. He never woke up after that.
You can't be. I don't think he was laughing, man. I don't think he was cracking jokes.
It sounded like it, Pac, though. The stuff that he said he was saying. Yeah, it sounded like, because even a police officer said when he went on the scene and said, who shot you? Pac looked at him and said, F you. Like, and then,
really?
So it sounded like when he was saying Pac was joking with him and calling him sweaty head, and like, cause Suge used to always sweat because he was a big dude. Yeah. I was like, that dude sound like him. Knowing Pac, he would get shot, and if he got that energy, he had that personality to go and joke around and stuff like that.
So there were a lot of rappers back then, but also not too long ago, like even after Tupac's death, they're really intimidated and afraid of Suge Knight.
You know, Suge Knight did something in the music industry that I don't think people ever saw before that. So it was the first time that they seen an individual. He might be like 6'5", 300 something pounds, gang affiliated. You know, nobody have ever seen a guy who everybody on the payroll was gang members from his hood. Some of them was killers.
Powerful.
No,
Yeah.
some of them was killers.
Yeah.
So nobody ever seen somebody come into the music scene like that and then start a record label that became the most successful record label during that time. He was very powerful. Suge wasn't bowed down to these people in the music industry. So a lot of people was afraid of him because of that. You know what I mean? Like, you look into some stories. So he done something that the people didn't do. A lot of people, you got to realize a lot of people in the music industry, they just rap about it, but they don't really live that. So now Suge got these real killers around him. And he was intimidated really because of the people around him. Yeah.
Does the name Keefy D ring a bell?
Of course. Who's
that guy?
Well, Keefy D is the guy who's supposedly been in the car the night that Pac got shot. He's locked up now. You know what I mean? Because he did a whole bunch of, he got locked up a couple months ago, maybe 6-7 months ago, because he'd been doing a whole bunch of videos talking about he was in the car where Pac got murdered. He had agreement with the government, a proffer agreement, which says, if you tell us anything now, we will let you go. But usually that agreement only is allowed while you sitting there talking to the police or the FBI, not when you get out and start doing interviews. So he must have thought it's a lifetime thing, and
he thought he was immune.
The world dumbest criminals he could have went on, where he thought he was immune to get on and sell a book and then just go every interview and brag about being in this car when Pac got killed. So I'm like, even me, when I'm like, what type of person do this? Like, came back and got him.
Okay. I want to know more about Napoleon. How many songs have you recorded back in the day?
Man, how many songs I recorded is countless. I can say that.
Did you record any with famous people?
Of course, Pac, of course. I've been on 60 million record sales worldwide.
MashaAllah.
This is before the streaming and all these type of things, you know what I mean? So with majority of those sales is from Tupac albums.
Okay.
I did songs with, Snoop Dogg, Tupac. I forgot now because I've been out of the music industry so long, but so many different people, bro.
Right. You're so lucky, man. You got to keep your tats.
For life.
No.
It was no really need me for,
No, there were a lot of like American people that converted to Islam after they got tattoos or piercings and stuff, and they're like, no, you get to keep them now because
because
everything gets erased.
Everything gets erased, and it's not something that you must do. A lot of people think when you convert to Islam, you must. For me, this is a reminder.
Yeah.
And I could sometimes would just be walking and look at my arm, and I remember what Allah guided me from. So I look at it in a positive way. Of course, tattoos.